Today is International Day of Nelson Mandela, and to celebrate the day, our correspondent, Ayola Adilesi, takes a look at his life's journey and what he stood for. Her report.
Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, born on July 18, 1918, was a South African anti-apartheid activist and politician who served as the president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the country's first black head of state and the first to be elected in a fully representative democratic election. His government focused on dismantling the legacy of apartheid by fostering racial reconciliation, ideologically an African nationalist and socialist. He served as the president of the African National Congress Party, ANC, from 1999 to 1997. Nelson Mandela was the son of Chief Henry Mandela of the Madiba clan of the Xhosa-speaking Tempo people. After his father's death, young Mandela was raised by John Jatiba, the regent of the Tembu. Nelson renounced his claim to the chieftainship to become a lawyer. He attended South African Native College, later the University of Fort Hare, and studied law at the University of the Witwatersrand. He later passed the qualification exam to become a lawyer. In 1944, he joined the African National Congress, ANC, a black liberation group, and became a leader of its youth league. That same year, he met and married Evelyn Ntoko Mase. Mandela subsequently held other ANC leadership positions, through which he helped revitalize the organization and oppose the apartheid policies of the ruling National Party. In 1952 in Johannesburg, with fellow ANC leader Oliver Tambo, Mandela established South Africa's first black law practice, specializing in cases resulting from the post-1948 apartheid legislation. Also that year, Mandela played an important role in launching a campaign to defense against South African pass laws, which required non-whites to carry documents known as passbooks or reference books, authorizing their presence in areas that the government deemed restricted, generally reserved for the white population. He traveled throughout the country as part of the campaign, trying to build support for non-violent means of protest against the discriminatory laws. In 1955, he was involved in drafting the Freedom Charter, a document calling for non-racial social democracy in South Africa.
I came into the African National Congress that I realized that Xhosas are only a part of the African people. That the task of the ANC was to unite the African people and out of them build a nation.
In October 1963, the imprisoned Mandela and several other men were tried for sabotage, treason, and violent conspiracy in the infamous Riviera trial, named after a fashionable suburb of Johannesburg, where raiding police had discovered quantities of arms and equipment at the headquarters of the underground. Umtoke, Mandela's speech from the dock, in which he admitted the truth of some of the charges made against him, was a classic defense of liberty and defiance of tyranny. His speech garnered international attention and was published later that year. On June 12, 1964, he was sentenced to life imprisonment, narrowly escaping the death penalty. Throughout his incarceration, Mandela retained wide support among South Africa's black population, and his imprisonment became a cause célèbre among the international community that condemned apartheid. As South Africa's political situation deteriorated after 1983 and practically after 1988, he was engaged by ministers of President P.W. Botha's government in exemplary negotiation. He met with Botha's successor, de Klerk, in December 1989. In February 11, 1990, the South Africa government under President de Klerk released Mandela from prison. Shortly after his release, Mandela was chosen as the deputy president of the ANC. He became president of the party in July 1991. Mandela led the ANC in negotiations with de Klerk to end apartheid and bring about a peaceful transition to non-racial democracy in South Africa.
Today, my return to Soweto fills my heart with joy. At the same time, I also return with a deep sadness, with a deep sense of sadness. Sadness to learn that you are still suffering under an inhuman system. The housing shortage, the school crisis, unemployment, and the crime rate still remain.
In April 1999, the Mandela-led ANC won South African first elections by universal suffrage, and on May 10, Mandela was sworn in as president of the country's first multi-ethnic government. In 1995, he established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which investigated human rights violations under apartheid, and he introduced housing, education, and economic development initiatives designed to improve the living standards of the country's black population. Mandela Day, observed on Mandela's birthday, was created to honor his legacy by promoting community service around the world. It was first observed on July 18, 2009 and was sponsored primarily by the Nelson Mandela Foundation and the 46664 initiative. Ayola Adelesi, LTV News.